clearly expressed the relation of numbers, the innermost basis of life and nature. Alongside the harmony of sound, the Pythagorean affirmed with keen speculation the harmony of the spheres. That is, the doctrine that in the complementary motion of sun, moon, and planets, there is operative the principle of numerical potency or power, which law or power resembles, is identical with, the law or power operative in the law of sound. This law, in a way, is twin, and becomes effective and effective in the life of men. Again, Professor Knopp says, "Now I wish to declare that this discovery of the Pythagoreans has experienced a resurrection, a most potent revival in most instances in the different races, such as the modern quantum theory. Here we learn that relation between numbers furnishes for man the mirror in which he finds the unfoldment of life." Yet further we find the following. The study, the investigation by the ancient Greeks of the Kegelschnitten, that is, the analysis of the principles involved in the formation of the circle, the ellipse, the parabola, and hyperbola, presents a highly interesting field of investigation. Apollonius of Perga gave to this mathematical study his whole lifetime, and we have from him an elaborate presentation of his results in 8 books. Some inductions and deductions had seemed strange and mystical, but a few thousands of years later, Kepler discovered that planets and comets in their evolution around the sun move in courses indicated and designated in this Kegelschnitten, so that what had seemed mathematical playfulness or tomfoolery had the most surprising cosmic significance. And still further we read, "Let us return to our Pythagoreans, their Einsichten. Their recognitions and the hope of new discoveries gave their study of mathematics a value superior to all other occupations. The structure, the nature of the cosmos, was recognized as having a mathematical basis. They did not postulate this mathematical basis for the realm of exteriors, the phenomenal world alone. For in their judgment, the sense of harmony enters deeply the interior, the human sphere, and thus they made mathematics the basis of all knowledge. We do not know what definite knowledge was reached, what discoveries in the realm of science was made by the Pythagoreans. One thing we do know, they utilized as a fact, or rather as a factor, the potency of numbers. They taught that number, whole number, was at the beginning, was in a way the source of the evolution of life in the bosom of nature, and that the relation between numbers furnished for man the mirror in which he could see the unfoldment of life. And yet again he says, at yet another point in modern progress do we see the potency of the whole number. I wish here to call attention to the principle of the periodicity in the realm of chemical elements, to the fact that every element has a definite whole number, order of and for process, which order determines so completely the character, the nature of the elements that Max Born, a recognized authority, maintained that the theory of physics and chemistry will become a problem of numbers. Professor Knopp is here in accord with a statement made by Lord Kelvin in his last visit to this country when speaking to the student body at Cornell University. In this speech he remarked, "The great work of the 20th century will be in the reconciliation of the life seen with the life unseen by means of psychophysics." To this recognition are due some commercially important discoveries in the German chemical industry. One more quotation we will make from our professor. An uneducated individual will not be able to imagine a non-Euclidean geometry. That is a geometry in which matter such as the three angles of a triangle make not 180 degrees. And yet Gauss, and especially Riemann, had worked with these non-Euclidean principles. And we know today that the theory of relativity postulated by Einstein is based upon this non-Euclidean geometry. Again, in Greek history, we find that mathematics was revered as the queen of science. And now we might say here a few words about the relation of mathematics to the principle of philosophy. Here our professor gives a dissertation too lengthy for a presentation in this sketch. These declarations are strange, very strange when made by a modern scholar. Our scientists have always looked, and the majority of them today still look askance at the sphere of the spiritual, the mystical. In other words, the realm of religion. The claims of the theologians were smiled at, were deemed beneath the honor of an investigation by a real scientist. And now the great Gauss is quoted by our professor as saying, "But all search, every effort was in vain. Finally, a few days ago, there came success. The success was not due to my efforts, my struggle, my powers. Success came like unto a flash of lightning. The problem was solved through the grace of God." Now, what is the purpose of Gematria? Gematria furnishes a solution for three problems. 1. Gematria teaches the nature of the cosmos, the origin of this, our solar system. 2. Gematria teaches the nature, the purpose, the destiny of man, the genus Homo. 3. Gematria shows to the personality the road on which the wanderer can, and eventually must, reach his destination. The new philosophy has coined a new term, supraliminal consciousness. And we would like to refer the American reader to the father of psychophysics, Theodor Fechner. The question, of course, comes up. What is this supraliminal consciousness? The phenomena so long rejected by scientists, such as clairvoyance, clairaudience, or telepathy, are today explained as manifestations of this supraconsciousness. The scientists would find useful information for the solution of these problems in the study of an occult treatise called the Kabbalah, and considered by some as divinely revealed, and in a certain modus operandi designated by the letter G, and called Gematria. This has been Gematria and the letter G, Foundations of Freemasonry series, Studies in Kabbalah, written by Leopold F. Strauss, narrated by Michael Strader. Copyright 2014 by Lamp of Trismegistus. Production copyright 2018 by Lamp of Trismegistus.